Good day, everyone, and this is another health tip with Sylvie. I was going to show you a couple of exercises. Well, just one. It's just in 3 stages, and it's to help expand the chest area and stretch these muscles out to help with breathing and just posture. And this is actually an exercise that was given to my partner when he had a concussion to help get more oxygen into his system, because the more oxygen you get in your system when you have a concussion, the better it heals your brain. So I got this information from a neurological physiotherapist, and there's such a thing as that. The one I was working with is now retired, unfortunately. There's also neurological chiropractors, specifically. And I think the one chiropractor I mentioned earlier, possibly both of them would be good for concussions as well. There's a lot of really interesting things around that, and I don't want to say too much because it could be a little tricky, because there's different opinions. So it's important to do your research, and sometimes it's important to really make up your own mind as to what next steps to take. I recommend you see a neurological physiotherapist or a neurological chiropractor just as a consult, even if it's just not an appointment per se, but just to get a different view on things, because sometimes some of the tests that they do and certain exposures may or may not make it better or worse. I'll just leave it at that and let you kind of figure out the rest. So this is a really great exercise, so I'll have that at the end. And another thing that was recommended to my partner is to do Gua Sha, which really helps to calm the nervous system, and it also helps to remove toxins. So with a big shock to the system like that, it's really important to make sure that you clean your system of toxins and help your nervous system to calm down. And that's what he felt was very good. And he was also given a lot of really interesting exercises, like put something over your eye and stand on one leg, and put a earplug in one ear and function that it is. So there's a lot of really interesting things that can be done around concussions if you are not aware. So I suggest you check out some different practitioners and see what you can find. Maybe some sports medicine places may be more used to working with concussions than your regular medical doctor as well. So just different options to open our horizons and to broaden our knowledge base on what is actually available out there. Energy work can help as well. So I was going to talk about Gua Sha, which is actually, I don't know whether it's Chinese or Japanese, Asian. It's good medicine. Whoever designed it. This is actually a whalebone, and it's I don't know if you can really see. I guess this way it's a little bit tapered, like this, yeah. And it's quite firm, but there's a real softness to it. Some people make the Gua Sha whalebone type things, but they make them out of, let's say, rose quartz or something else. So I think any material is fine. I've even seen some videos where people use a credit card. I don't know if I'd want a plastic on my body like that, but hey, if you don't have anything else, why not give it a shot? So it's really about, she said, I think it's like 36, so you can do across. I don't remember the exact protocol, but I think I would start from the middle and go down and like this. And then people do the face as well. Actually, it's supposed to even really help. There's some beauty stuff like this that helps actually lift your face, so you can do it like this and down, and you want to do all like the back all along the spine. Not exactly along or on the spine. You don't want to go on the spine. You go on both sides of the spine. So make sure you don't go on the bones per se. When you're doing Gua Sha, you want to focus more on the soft tissue and go kind of between and around the bones. So just wanted to make sure that was really clear. And we'll keep going. I don't have a whole lot of demo, but and then 36 swipes. And you can do it fairly firmly, like as like as long as it's not painful. Don't make it be painful. And I'll stick some videos of some people do it. Now, don't be alarmed if you do some Gua Sha and if you have a certain amount of toxins, you can get this really weird, like dark kind of bruising look come up. And that's just the toxins coming out. So don't freak out. Don't think you've injured yourself or anything if you get like this really weird discoloration on your skin, because that is relatively normal. I have never had that happen to me, but I have a pretty clean system, and my partner was eating pretty clean and didn't have that many toxins. So, I mean, you might turn a bit red. You might have some slight discoloration. I had another person I did a treatment with, and he did get a little bit of discoloration in some places, but nothing major. But even if it's like extreme discoloration, like looking like black and purple and blue, that's okay. It's nothing to worry about. Okay, so this is a really good tool for managing the nervous system and helping heal with a concussion. And the other exercise that I gave there as well is another good exercise. I've been meaning to share this because another friend of mine just recently got a concussion, and I was going to recommend her to the practitioner I really loved. Unfortunately, this person is no longer practicing. So I'm very sad about that, because she was magical and amazing and wonderful. So, wondering if there's anything else I need to add today. It's a pretty short one. I'll see if I can add a few other links that are related to the kinds of exercises that we did. And the earplug in this ear and the eye patch and that eye, it really depends on where the concussion is. And so, I mean, some people might need to put it in your right ear, left ear, maybe that strategy won't work. And then there's, again, the neurological chiropractors who are used to working with sports medicine, who are used to working with concussions, are also, let's say, better prepared or have more knowledge on how to deal with this kind of issue, because it can be tricky. And I also have another piece of information that actually men and women, concussions are a little bit different, and they can have slightly different symptoms, slightly different reactions, and it can affect your emotional your safety feelings, fight or flight sensations. So it has a lot of effects that one may not necessarily think to attribute to a bang on the head. Okay, so I think I'll leave it at that. I'll put the links in and show the other part of the video with the exercises. And just a little quick note, just play around a little bit with the distance of your feet from the wall. I know my partner's felt like he wanted to be closer to the wall, and I felt like I wanted to be a little further away. As long as your torso is straight and your stomach muscles are relatively taut, so you're not like hanging your tummy out, that I think that's fine. And just find the comfort and feel kind of around where it's stretching. If it feels good, you should be feeling a stretch somewhere in here, and it really opens this up. And some people who are really tight may not even be able to put their hands, their whole arm against the wall, or if they do that, then they won't be going too far out. So it's just trust the process. It's kind of like yoga. So if you're like out here and this is as far as you can go and you can't go past that, don't worry. Just do it like once a day or 3 times a day for a little while, and it will help. I usually do it for a count of 10, but if that's a little too much, you can start with a count of 5. It's usually longer than a second when I count, so you can just play around with it and see what works for you. So I hope this is useful, and until we meet again. And I'm going to show you 3-step exercise that I was shown by someone who works with people who have had concussions. She is a neurological physiotherapist. And so this is an exercise that helps to open up the chest area, because you need a whole lot of oxygen. Now this can be done for anyone, especially since a lot of people do a lot of work and cycling or working. Sometimes with working and sitting, your shoulders can roll in, especially sitting at a desk for long periods of time. So this exercise helps to open up the chest to make it easier to breathe. So here we go. The idea is you keep your tummy tight and your feet anywhere from between 1 and 2 feet away from the wall, whatever's comfortable for you. If it feels too much, you can go a little closer to have a little bit less strong of a stretch. So you start with your arms lower than your shoulders. So the idea is you try to put your arm against the wall. So let's see if I can do that. Yeah, like this, with your arms against the wall, and then lean forward and feel the stretch. I usually count to 10, not for the video. Then you do just straight across, as if not higher or lower, just straight across. Again, arms against the wall and lean forward, keeping tummy tight. And one last one. And we'll see how that goes.